What's up, you fools? Not ESC United, it's your favorite Eurovision channel. We continue our journey throughout the ESC 2019 season. This is our ESC United expert panel, where the team of ESC United reviews all the 41 songs taking part in Eurovision this year. We share our thoughts, and at the very end, our score. And today, it is Georgia's turn. Georgia, not the state in the US, but the little country that at least most Americans think they've never heard of it. So Georgia, they used actually the show called, I think it's actually called Georgian Idol. I think that's what they call it, to select the act, right? And the act was Oto Nemsadze. He won in the end. He was the favorite for the most part, at least throughout the show. And then in the very last show, the finals, I think there were 4 singers performing in the final show, and there were 3 songs still in the running or something like that. And then ultimately he was chosen by the televoters. The name of the song is tsin iare. Hopefully, which translates to go ahead. So now we should go ahead. And win, and maybe he'll goes ahead and wins the whole Eurovision thing, or maybe at least qualifies, or maybe not qualify at all. Let's talk through this and see what we think about it. We're here to talk this through. That's our job. And what do you think about Georgia this year?
Well, firstly, I thought you totally butchered the name of that song. I was very ready for that, but you did quite well. I'm going to say the Georgian song is, of course, probably not the best song out there. It is very, very stale throughout the entire song. And then in the end, he bursts out. But for some reason, I just really fall in love with his voice. I just really gravitate towards it. And I can't really explain why I have that. But I kind of like this song. And I feel like I'm trying to justify me liking the song, but I don't know what it is. It's just his voice really does it for me. He has a really good dark tone in his voice, and it just works for me. And it's not the best song out there, but it's not the worst either. Will it do well at Eurovision? Not so sure.
Yeah. In all seriousness, though, Roy, I don't think I know what you mean. Sometimes you like a song and you cannot really explain it why, right? You're trying to find the right words, explain, like, I don't know why I like it. Maybe I shouldn't like it. Maybe I should. I just do. And I totally get what you're saying. I have that same thing happening with other songs to me. So I know what you mean. Connor, how do you feel about it?
So this is scary territory. And I don't mean scary as in like the song or like it's bad and I don't like it. I mean like literally the tone of this entry is like scary territory. What I appreciate about Georgia is the fact that they're the country that probably goes the most for it. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. I don't think a lot of our countries often try for that. They always try to gravitate towards somewhere that's in the middle or is very, very ethnic to them. And I think that Georgia is one of those countries where every single year you literally have no idea what's going to come onto the stage. Just look at the reactions that we had last year with iare, and everyone was just like, what is this? Now, I have to agree with a lot of the social media commentary on this song that it does sound a little bit like a dirge, like we're about to go to war. And what I can give some positive spin to is that it's very passionate, and that it seems like the idol judges and the audience really gravitated and felt this song. My concern is that this song might go down very much like Greece did last year, where it was a very powerful song, but only to the individuals from that country. And that might be reflected in the voting that we see coming in May, where unfortunately people from Georgia can't vote for Georgia, and potentially no one else might. I might cast it a vote here or there. It depends. And I don't always necessarily agree with their track record, especially last year. Like, I was on board for that in the final. Once we got to Lisbon at the end, I was like, all right, you convinced me. I'm just not sure that this is going to convince me.
All right. What Connor said, I agree. Next. Now, I have nothing else to add. Like, you really stole all of my thoughts, so I'm just going to ramble on real quick. But I agree with most of what you said. First of all, Iare last year. Anyone watch my videos, my top favorite videos? Georgia was one of my favorite songs last year. I still love it. Even though it finished last in the semifinals, I don't give a flying fart. I'm just so appreciative of that song. It is so good. And you're absolutely right. They always go like, you never know what they're going to bring to the table, right? There's such different style, and it's almost like when I say they don't care, I'm sure they care enough about the song, but they don't want to just play it safe. And I give them so much credit for that. So I cannot be too harsh on the song. I loved them last year. But it does pain me to say that this year, to me, it's the opposite. So they tried something different. Last year, it worked for me. This year, it just doesn't work for me. I know a lot of people... not a lot of people. There are people definitely out there who are into this, right? And I'm just not one of them. I can't get into it. It's a little bit too shouty and messy, and it makes it almost uncomfortable. And yes, it's probably very meaningful when you know the language, but I don't. So it's just for me like, So it's like, okay, it makes me uncomfortable, and songs supposed to give you some kind of emotions, and being uncomfortable may be one of them, but I don't think necessarily that's what they were. It's that kind of uncomfortable. They weren't going for that feeling, and that's what bothers me. And it's just such a specific sound, right? And I agree. I don't see a majority of Europeans getting it. I just don't see a mass appeal there. But as I point out, at least it's daring. It's different. Better than some generic middle of the road, just very rhymey for rhyme's sake song. You know, I applaud Georgia for sending something different, even if it's not for me. I'm just going to be honest. It didn't work for me, but I applaud them for sending that, and they shouldn't change it. Does that make any sense? Anyway, that's how I feel about it. How about you, Robert?
So Roy started off our opinion sharing by saying that this was not one of his favorites. Or it wasn't his favourite. Well, it's not my favourite this year, but boy, does it run it close. Georgia, you have sent a masterpiece. Ignore these three fools. They do not understand. They do not realise. They have not seen the true strength of this year's entry. Oh my gods, this is great. As soon as you have the first second of this song, I am in love with it. And the final minute, I am sorry, is the best final minute of any song this year. And, you know, probably challenging some other years there as well. It is brilliant. There is emotion, there is power, there is strength. I love the choir in the background. I don't understand. Maybe other people have a different understanding of the word dirge to I do. Dirge is something slow. It is something sad. It is mournful. This is the opposite. This is punching out blows. Possibly it is a cry to war, but you know what? They're off to war. They're off to Tel Aviv. They are off to fight for their country in Eurovision, and that is the right attitude to have. Georgia, you are not going to win this year. Gods, you are probably not even going to qualify. I am not going to mislead myself into thinking this has got a hope in hell. It does not. But I am so glad that they have sent this song. I think it is a brilliant song. It keeps me going all the way through, and I just don't understand how people... I can understand how people don't get into it. It's not everyone's cup of tea, and that's fine. And that's why I'm comfortable with the fact it is almost certainly not going to qualify. But thank you, Georgia. You have sent one of the best songs this year, and I am so in love with it.
Wow, so there you see, different opinions. See, we don't agree all the time. But now it comes down to the scores. Let's see what we have in store there. First, our individual scores. You go ahead first, Roy.
Yeah, that was really surprising, Robert. But no, I can totally see that. You know, his voice really grabs me, and then he looks into the camera with like a very serious look, and he just grabs me as well. And you know, it's not my favorite song, but I don't hate it at all either. I gave it a 7, which is quite a decent note, I would say.
Yeah.
So yeah, 7 for me.
Connor.
I'm afraid, unlike Robert, I am not a Georgia fan this year. I will say that I do find good qualities about this song, and I am not in any way, shape, or form about to rip it to shreds, or do I think it is a bad song. I just think that in the ranking of what we have for this year, it's just not quite sitting. It sits in the lower end for me. I just feel like it's kind of got that inaccessible quality to it. It is not at the bottom, so there's some points. It is a 4.5 for me. And I could not justify it being lower than that, and I just at this point in time couldn't justify it being higher. It's just right out of that middle ground, middle of the road. Yeah.
Okay, no, that is fair, and at least you have a reason behind it why you gave it that score. It's not just like something you pull out of thin air. You put some thought into it, and I tried to do the same thing. This one was one of the toughest one for me to score because I'm trying to look at a little bit, of course, based on my own personal taste. It's not for me. Like, I skip it usually when it comes on, right? Yet I look at it, I'm like, I have so much of an appreciation for it, for being what it is. And I'm trying to merge these two things together and give it credit where it's due without just, not ignoring my own personal taste with it. So when I do that, if it was just 100% based on, I don't like it, skip it, blah, it would be lower than it is actually for me. But I give it credit. I just want to reward some of its daring ballsiness, whatever you want to call it. And for that reason, I agree with Connor. I cannot give it a 5 because that would be average. To me, it's still below average. 4.5 is the score I'm giving it. So that's where I'm at. Robert, I think yours will be a little higher.
Yeah, just a little bit. I mean, I kind of feel as if I've said it all. I think this song is stellar. It just ticks so many boxes for me. I mean, I love hearing the Georgian. It is a language like no other at Eurovision. I am not one of these people who wants the language rule back because that's a really bad idea. But I really enjoy it when we get the variety of languages at Eurovision. And Georgian is one of those languages I really enjoy. It's brilliant. It's dark. It's atmospheric. It's powerful. The vocalist is incredible. I just have to give it a 1 and a 0. 10 points from me.
A 10, a perfect 10.
A 10.
It's not just our 4 scores that matter. There are over 20 votes that came in from the ESC United team, and I'm about to share with you the full overall score. And Georgia received 4.89. So just a little bit under 5. Robert's jaw just dropped to the floor, I think. Were you expecting a little more?
Yes. Oh God.
You got
Georgia is my second favorite song this year. Second favorite.
Yeah,
that hurts, guys. That hurts.
Poor lad.
You surprised at all, Roy?
Well, I'm not surprised about the no, but I really hope Robert's able to sleep tonight. Like, oh, look at his heartbroken face.
I'm so sorry. It's not just me. I gave it 4.5, so I'm technically even below the average. But, it's kind of like that.
It's not my fault, says guy who hurts the average.
It is. Well, I'm not the only one, okay? This is our score for Georgia, I know, but this is only, a group of people, and things can change. Let us know, y'all. Do you agree with Robert? Do you feel like this song should get a little bit more love than it received? Or do you feel like, this is just not working? Either way, leave your thoughts below in the comment section. We're going to post the full results of the entire team. The link is in the description box as well, a link to the poll. Make sure you vote and let us know your score so we can then see how the readers and viewers compare to the team. Thank you for watching. We got to move on to the next video. Have a good day.